Hey guys, what's up? So my last two videos I pointed out some dates or anniversaries, if you will, of significant dates in Cold War history, because at this point it seems Treyarch is lining up their marketing schedule for teasers, trailers, and what have you with dates that correlate to the Cold War. Now, my buddy Skizzlax, if you haven't already subbed to him, go ahead, he's awesome, had a stream, and he went through one of my videos in the stream. But he was also pointing out to the idea that May 22nd may be a possible date, because some see the 22nd of May 1947 as the mark of the beginning of the Cold War, which may have you wondering why I didn't have it in one of my previous videos if it was that significant. The reason being is because the defined date as the beginning of the Cold War is still debated to this day. Some say it was January 4th, 1945, along with other events that happened in 1946 that dominoed into the Cold War. But what happened in May 22nd of 1947 was the U.S. provided $400 million in military aid to Turkey and Greece, and there might have been one more, but I can't remember. But to many in the world, that was a signal that the U.S. was actively acting to resist or border communism in those areas, or the Mediterranean in general. But he did point out something interesting in my video, which was at the very end of the 10-year anniversary Black Ops trailer that was dropped on the 18th, there was a flash of numbers, and there was a flash of light that ends that sequence of the trailer, and then after that, there are 3 solid frames of just the number 4. Now, because in those flashing numbers there was apparent dates being shown multiple times, and one of them being the 4th of June 2020, I personally assumed that the 4 stood for 4 June. But he pointed out another theory, maybe the 4 means 4 more days into the reveal. And 4 days after the 18th is May 22nd, which would explain why it flashed by itself alone with no other numbers, because it wasn't necessarily a date, it was a countdown. And I gotta say, it does make a lot of sense, but if this turns out to be true, then the teasers dropped so far, along with the upcoming reveal, would be anniversaries of dates that span over 10 years. And if on June 4th, PlayStation does reveal something or showcase something from COD 2020, that historic date is an anniversary from 1961, the Vienna Summit, which, included with the previous anniversaries mentioned, would span across a timeline of almost 15 years, which means the campaign could possibly span from the mid-40s to the early 60s in either a direct fashion, going from one into the other, or via flashbacks with your character's current position in time being in the 60s, much like the first Black Ops. So this is really cool, really exciting, but we can only speculate right now. But on to some other news. Bunker 11 in Warzone was finally opened. This footage we're about to watch is from Mr. DALEK JD, going through all the steps. I'm just gonna show you getting into the bunker itself, but I'll have the link to his video in the description. And on the inside, there's a big computer, and if you go up to the computer, it says, press to reboot. And if you look at the appliances and the technology, it looks like it's from the 60s. Not to mention the office they stumbled across looks really familiar to the office you walk through in the Pentagon when you're losing your mind in the Black Ops campaign. Obviously, it's not the exact same. This one has Soviet symbols everywhere on it. But just look at the control center. That is not a modern control center. That looks nothing like a control center would look in the campaign of Modern Warfare. There's no modern aesthetic. It looks like the control centers we saw in Black Ops. Not to mention the telephone looks identical to the wall telephones from Ascension, for example. Next, there's some secret code on the wall, 207A14, and then there's this other control center with a big red button, and if you push it, it demystifies the room next to you, and the mist in there doesn't exactly look like the fog in Warzone. It looks kind of wispy, if that makes sense, but when the fog goes away, there's a nuclear warhead inside that room, and there's blood on the walls and a lot of places. Obviously something went down there. I got a heavy Ascension vibe from these locations they unlocked. And if you remember the original Black Ops 1, the first real Easter egg they dropped was on their pre-order poster, and there was a phone number, which if you called, played the melody from the mystery box. And then there were coordinates to a location we later found out was Ascension, which was the first DLC zombie map. It was DLC, and it was hinted before the game even came out. So I feel like this isn't just a teaser for Black Ops. I think it's also possibly a teaser for zombies. And now you look around and there's all this stuff that we're going to have to take a lot of time to decipher and look through, because I don't think the chalkboard and all that stuff is there for no reason. So there's a lot of hints there. But I noticed that all of the clocks are frozen at 10:10. And they said the game is coming out sometime in October. And 10:10 is a Saturday, meaning the midnight release for the game would be on a Friday night if it did release on 10:10. So I think that's possibly the release date for Black Ops 2020. So this is really exciting, not to mention there's more evidence out there suggesting Okami is right, and the title is Black Ops Cold War, because the Gaming Revolution and DK Dynamite were actually told this was the title last month, but out of respect to their source, they chose not to leak it, and if anybody didn't believe them, they had screenshots from the messages with the dates from last month. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the title was also seen on some other listing today, so things are getting kind of crazy. Last but not least, we have this new message from the Call of Duty app. It's an alert. It says eyes only confidential to Armistice Senior Operator Subject Tactical Alert. Body on 19th May at 2337 Zulu. Coalition SIGINT intercepted flash traffic from AQ Regional Command outside Verdansk. Message calls for priority IP call with an unknown suspected. Recipient is Target Denver. Timing of meeting unknown suspected for the 21st of May. Location to be confirmed. Surveillance activity has been authorized. Maintain vigilance on comm for location of enemy surveillance. This obviously has something to do with Warzone, which is really cool. So something's happening the 21st of May. Who knows, maybe that nuke will go off and start anew. That sounds really crazy, but I'm pretty sure they're using Warzone continually for the future generations of COD. They're not going to keep making a new Battle Royale every COD. Warzone is going to be where those changes happen. Or it could just be another teaser dropping before the trailer, possibly dropping on the 22nd, or maybe the trailer's just going to drop on the 21st. Who knows? But that's the next 2 days, something's going to be happening really big. This just dropped. So yeah, I hope you like this video. That's all I got for now. Please like, share, subscribe, keep the conversation going, and I will catch you guys next time.